Hello, friends. Welcome to YouTube. And I'm Alena, and I work for Expand Yoga in Tacoma, Washington. And today I'm going to take you through kind of a core intensive vinyasa. Sometimes I think when people think core, they just think they're like abs, they're six-pack, and that's the rectus abdominis. It's like right there at the front. But your core is essentially like entire girdle for your guts. That includes the external and internal obliques, and your erector spinae, and your transverse abdominis, and even deep into your hip flexors and into the pelvic floor. So we're going to be working on a lot of stuff today to encourage stability. That will definitely add to your practice as well as to your daily life. And we will be doing reps of things. So we'll be doing core exercises and some maybe more traditional ab work. And if you feel like you cannot do the repetitions, you know, you showed up, and if you do one, that's all that matters, and that you did your best. So it's the effort that counts. So today we're going to start off in child's pose. So sitting on your mat, your knees can be wide or they can be close together, depending on how you get comfortable, and extend your arms out in front of you. And then we're just going to take a moment to drop in, to connect, and to settle into the idea that you're going to be with yourself and be on your mat for this practice. You can start to lengthen the inhales and the exhales, gently breathing in and out of the nose. On your next inhale, we're going to rise up into tabletop and start to go through some cat-cows. So with your inhale, lengthen the belly to the mat, open the collarbones, look up. Exhale, draw the belly button to the spine as you tuck the tail and tuck the chin to the sternum and press yourself away from the mat. So inhale, get a lot of length, broaden the collarbones, look up. Exhale, round it in, press yourself away from the mat. You can feel the scapula broaden. So a few times. Bringing some movement into the spine. And once you start to feel pretty warmed up, you can take any other movement that just kind of feels good. So if you want to circle the pelvis and the ribs around, maybe a couple neck circles, just to kind of get groovy into your body and see how you're doing today. Taking a little inventory. See if there's any places that are sticky or stagnant feeling. Send your energy and send your breath to those spots. This is a good time to stretch your wrists too, because we will be doing plank in some variations. So I like to place the tops of my hands on the floor with the fingertips facing inwards. And you can make some circles around the wrists. If that's too much, you can always have a deep bend to the elbows or just do one at a time. This might feel nice for people who work with their hands a lot. And then you can also flip the fingertips to your knees with the wrists under the shoulders. You might want to take a couple cat-cow tilts that way, just to switch it up a little bit. It feels a little different. So making your way back into tabletop, we're going to do our first core exercise. So we're going to make our way into a bird dog. So you can start by lifting the right leg up and then the left arm. So we're just going to take a moment to hold this. Draw the belly button in and try to level your shoulders and hips to the floor. Pressing the left shin down, chin is away from the chest. I'm going to be taking a much harder variation of this later, so I just want to mentally prepare you for that. So take an inhale, reach fingertips to toes. As you exhale, bring the elbow to the knee. And do this 4 more times. Exhale. Inhale, get nice and long. Exhale, bring it in. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, round it in. Last one, take an inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, stretch your fingertips and toes away from each other. Set the left hand back down underneath the shoulder. Tuck your left toes under. We're just gonna lift up and back into a three-legged dog. Get nice and long, and then we'll tip open, stacking the right hip on top of the left and bending the knee. Nice stretch through the belly. Try to keep your left knee facing forward so it's not tweaking inward. Knee safety above all else at all times. With an inhale, come back to center, reach that right leg out long, and then you can step it down to the floor next to the left and give yourself a moment to pedal the feet, opening up the calves and the hamstrings, maybe swaying the hips around. And then we're gonna bring the knees back down to the floor, back into tabletop, and we're gonna go to the other side. So you can start by lifting the left leg up this time, and then the right arm. So take a moment here to find your balance. It's very easy to want to arch through the low back here, so think about kicking your leg out from the hip instead of up. You might even want a little itty-bitty tuck to the pelvis. All right, bird dog crunches. Take an inhale, reach fingertips to toes. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, get nice and long. Exhale, elbow to knee. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Round it in. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, rounding it in. Now inhale, stretch your fingertips and toes away from each other. Set the right hand down, tuck the right toes under. Coming back into our three-legged dog. Lift that left leg up, getting nice and long here. And then we're gonna tip open, stacking the left hip on top of the right. Then you can bend the knee. Maybe if you peek under your right shoulder, you can see your left foot. And try to keep that right knee facing forward. Now inhale your left leg back out long behind you, and we'll just step the foot down into our downward facing dog. So in our downward facing dog, we want the hips lifted up nice and high. So if you need the heels and lifted off the mat and the knees bent pretty deeply to get there, you can. And eventually we'll be able to straighten the legs while keeping the back nice and long. Imagine spinning your biceps in towards your ears so your arms and your shoulders are nice and active. You're kind of clawing the floor a little bit, so your fingers are even active in this posture. It's kind of like our active resting posture. So for our next set of movements, we're going to go from down dog into plank, but we're going to kind of try to roll the spine down. So you're going to have a little tuck to the tail and roll the spine down into your high plank. So shoulders are over the wrists. Think about puffing up the upper back. Draw the navel in and try not to let your hips sag here. You want to bring them up. Pulling the navel in and even draw up on your quadriceps here. The legs are active. So take an inhale. We're going to roll back into downward facing dog. And then we're going to tuck the tail again and roll down. High plank. Let's do this just one more time. Inhale, roll it back. You're catching your breath like a wave. And then with an exhale, tuck the tail, roll it down. Now we're going to take a nice slow chaturanga to the floor. So chaturangas are like a tricep push-up. So take an inhale into your upper back, draw the navel in, and we're going to slowly lower down for 5, 4, elbows into the ribs, 3, 2, and 1. Lay on the floor. Release the toes. Zipping the legs up, press the tops of the feet down, press the hips down. We're going to inhale right up into cobra. So you can bring a little bit of weight into palms, slightly straighten the arms, not all the way here. Shoulders back and down away from the ears, and you can lengthen through the throat. Exhale, release. One more time, inhaling up into cobra. Exhale, let it go. Now interlace your fingers behind the base of the head. With an inhale, we're going to open up the elbows and lift the chest. So the hands behind the head just creates a little bit of a challenge to lift the chest up. So we're really using the back muscles here to lift up. Keep pressing the feet down, though. Press the hips down. Exhale, let it go. Let's do this 4 more times. With an inhale, open the elbows up. Try to lift up with that little bit of resistance. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift up. Keep pressing the hips down. Exhale, let it go. Last one, inhale, lift up. Exhale, let it go. And you can plant your hands underneath the heads of the shoulders. Let's sit back into child's pose first, tucking the toes underneath the heels, and that will prep us for going to downward facing dog. Coming back to the breath, draw the low ribs in, strong active arms. So inhale, look up in between the hands. And as you exhale, we're going to try to take little itty bitty steps till our feet come in between the hands. This is also kind of a tricky core movement. So you got to round through the upper back as you walk forward. And once you get in between your hands, separate your feet hips-width distance, which should be about 2 fists in between the feet for everybody. And take a moment to grab for opposite elbows and hang heavy. You can sway around. You can bob the upper body up and down, creating a little bit of a decompression from the spine. And feel free to bend the knees here. You can shake the head. Now release the elbows, interlace your fingers behind you. Try to bring the heels of the palms together, and then with an inhale, we'll lift the hands up, bend over to the top of the mat. Begin to bend the right knee, look past the left shoulder. Try to lengthen through the crown of the head here. Press the left foot down. And then we're going to bend the left knee, look past the right shoulder. Maybe even think about bringing the left knee towards the left armpit. On an exhale, come back to center. And then you can release the hands and let them slide down the sides of the legs. So the next series of movements we're going to do, I learned from one of my dance teachers, Rachel Bryce. So we're going to fall and recover, and you're really going to feel this in the back body. So we're going to do it nice and slow first, and then we're going to pick up the speed a little bit. So bend your knees, sit your hips behind you, sweep the arms up for an Utkatasana. So finding our Utkatasana first. Maybe think about energetically pressing the knees away from each other so you can really feel those glutes work. And this is a little bit of a back bend here. So actively reach for the ceiling, spin the pinkies in towards each other. Navel is drawn in. So take a breath here. Exhale, keep your knees bent as you fold forward. And still keeping the knees deeply bent, we're going to inhale into a half lift, but the arms are going to come to the sides, palms facing down. And squeeze the shoulder blades together, kind of like, this reminds me of skiing, like you're dive bombing down a hill. So exhale into that forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. So we're going to fall and recover here. Try to move with your breath, and if you get dizzy, feel free to slow it down or take a break. So fall, recover, hands to the sides. Fall, recover, fall, recover, fall, recover. Let's do this one more time. Fall, recover, fall, recover. Take an inhale, reach through your fingertips. Exhale, sweep the palms to the floor, press the palms, come up to standing, reach up. And then take an exhale, grounding through the feet, and we're going to grab the left wrist with the right hand. So take an inhale, press the hand up to the ceiling, and as you exhale, we're just going to bend over to the right side. You can bump that left hip out a little bit, maybe look past your left shoulder. So you're pulling length out of the side body. And draw up on the kneecaps. Exhale, come back to center. We're going to swap it out. So right palm to the ceiling, grabbing it with the left wrist. Inhale, press the hand up. Exhale, we're going to bend over to the left side. Pressing that right hip out over the right ankle. Pulling length out of the right side body. Exhale, come back to center. You can release the hands. Inhale, reach up. You can look up. Exhale, dive into your forward fold, whatever your style diving down is. Inhale into your half lift. The hands can be on the shins. Exhale, forward fold. You can plant the hands, step your feet back into plank, and we're going to take the first flow finally. So on or off your knees, exhale into your chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. whatever back bend you'd prefer to do. And exhale. Beloved downward facing dog. So you can pedal the feet, catch your breath. Inhale your right leg out long behind you. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, squeeze the oblique. Inhale the leg back out long. Exhale, knee to nose, round it in. Inhale the leg back out long. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. One more time. Inhale the leg out long. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale the leg out long. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale that leg out long. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale your leg back out long. Now this time as you exhale, we're going to step it through. Now if you can't step it through all the way, you can always scoot your foot up to up in between the hands. See if you can get your left heel over the left toes. And keep your left hand planted underneath your left shoulder with an inhale. Peel the chest open, sweep the right fingertips up. So pull up on the left kneecap here. Draw the navel in as you twist. You can always come up onto your left fingertips if you need more space, or bring the left knee down for a modification. Take a breath here. Exhale, sweep the right hand down. Place it underneath your right shoulder. We're going to twist the other way. So with an inhale, open the chest, lift the right hand up, or left hand. I know my lefts and rights, and so do you. Take a breath. Exhale the hand back down. Now zip the legs up nice and tight. We're going to come into a kind of a power lunge move. So bringing your weight into your legs. Arms to the sides. You can lift the upper body up a little bit. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, palms facing down. So it's like you're whoosh, flying through the air, and your arms are like a cape behind you. Chin away from the chest. And then we're going to inhale, rise all the way up into our high crescent lunge. Draw the abdominal wall in, lengthen the tailbone down. And then you're going to bring your hands out in front of you. You can press the palms. Take an inhale, reach your fingertips forward. And as you exhale, we're going to twist the right arm behind us. Inhale, press the palms. Exhale, left hand behind you. Inhale, out front. Exhale, right arm back. Inhale, the hands out front. Exhale, left arm back. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, out front. Exhale, twist, pull the belly button in. Inhale, out front. Exhale, twist the left arm back. Now inhale, your hands out in front of you. You can sweep your arms up, biceps frame the face. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back. Let's take a flow. Coming back, downward facing dog. All right, left side, easy side. Inhale that left leg up. Exhale, knee to elbow or higher. Inhale your left leg out long. Exhale, knee to nose. Rounding in. Inhale the leg out long. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale the leg out long. One more time. Knee to left elbow. Inhale your leg out long. Exhale. Knee to nose. Inhale the leg out long. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Now inhale your left leg out behind you in your down dog split. And as you exhale, we're going to step it through this time. So finding your high lunge. Knees over the ankle, right heel over the right toes. Keep the right hand planted. Inhale, peel the chest open, lift the left hand up. And remember, you can always come down onto the other knee if you need a little more space or a break from your legs. Take an inhale, reach the left fingertips up. Exhale, sweep the left hand down. You can frame up the outside of the left foot. And then with an inhale, we're going to lift the right hand up. Take a breath, reach. Exhale the hand down. All right, now zip up those legs nice and tight. We're going to come into that power lunge. So bringing your weight into the front heel. Bring the arms to the sides. You can lift the upper body up. Palms face the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Chins away from the chest. And then we're gonna make our way all the way into our regular high lunge. Biceps frame the face. Now bring your hands down in front of you. You can press the palms if you like. Take an inhale, reach your fingertips forward. Exhale, left arm back for a twist. Inhale the hands forward. Exhale, right arm back. Inhale the hands forward. Exhale, left hand back. Inhale forward. Exhale, right arm back. Inhale the hands forward. Exhale, left arm back. Inhale the hands forward. Exhale, right arm back. And bring the hands back forward with an inhale. You can sweep your fingertips up with biceps framing the face. Exhale, sweep your hands to the floor. Step that left foot back, taking your flow. Come back, downward facing dog. Now inhale your right leg up. Exhale, step it through. We're going to come right into warrior two. So placing the left heel down. Toes are turned about 45 degrees. Press through your left pinky toe and we're going to cartwheel those arms up. And peek down, make sure you can see your right big toe and your knee isn't rolling inward. Nice, strong and stable warrior. Flip the right palm to the ceiling with an inhale, reach forward, up and back. Reversing your warrior, your left hand can rest anywhere except the left knee. You can always bring it to the small of the back, or maybe you're going for that bind. Really open up through the right rib cage. Take an inhale, reach. Exhale, extended side angle. Bring the right forearm to the top of the right thigh. With an inhale, sweep that left arm down and up above you. So it's easy to get a little lazy here. You might want to rest all of your weight into your forearm, but you're still really reaching through those left fingertips. Kind of like reaching through the lats here. Trying not to bring too much weight into your right arm. And then, in fact, we're going to lift that right arm up and reach the fingertips. So the core is holding us up here, the legs are holding us up. Try to roll the right shoulder underneath the left. And then with an inhale, we're going to sit back into warrior two and straighten the leg. Oh my goodness. All right, step the feet a little closer together. We're going to set up for a triangle. So zip up the kneecaps, no hyperextending is allowed. So with an inhale, reach the right fingertips forward. You want to think about creating a lot of length out of the right side body, and then all you have to do is tilt. Because you never want to feel like you're crunching down just to grab the toe. It might look cool, but it's probably not that comfortable. So you can be pretty high up on the shin. Try to bring the shoulders in line with the hips. Drawing up on the kneecaps, you can have a tiny micro bend to the right knee. Triangle was like one of my favorite postures for a little while because it's just so pretty to look at. There's so many lovely angles and you get to kind of feel everything working at the same time. So take a breath. As you exhale, we're going to sweep the left hand back down and we're going to make our way into revolved triangle. So you might want to step the feet a little closer together. Drawing the right hip back and the left hip forward. The left hand can be underneath the left shoulder, or if you want to challenge your balance, maybe on the outside of the right foot. So try to find your balance here. Bring the right arm to the side, and then we're going to twist. Keep drawing that right hip back and the left hip forward, pulling the navel to the spine. Take an inhale and reach here. Exhale, you can start to sweep the right hand back down. Framing up the foot, inhale, look forward and do a half lift. And as you exhale, we're going to fold over the right leg. Pressing through the palms, inhale into a half lift. And then we're just going to step that left foot next to the right at the top of the mat, this time bringing the feet together into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Now bend your knees, sit your hips behind you, sweep the arms up for Utkatasana. So this one's a little different because the feet are together. Same rules apply. Keep your weight over the heels. You can keep pressing all 10 toes down. Feet are active. Take an inhale, reach through your fingertips. Exhale your palms to the sternum. Inhale, fill up the chest. And as you exhale, we're going to dive your left arm over your right knee for a twist. Try to keep 2 knees in one line. That'll keep the hips level. Pull the belly button in as you twist. Maybe look past your right shoulder. And then a little bit of a balance challenge. We're going to pick up your left foot and carefully step it to the back of the mat. So now we're in a twisted high lunge. And then from here, if you'd like to take some variations, you can always open up for a flyaway, maybe an arm balance or a bind. Just remember to breathe, even when you're not doing yoga. All right, if you're in a bind, release it. Maybe not just physically, if you're in a metaphorical bind, just release it, let it go. And with an exhale, we're going to unravel back into our high lunge. In your high lunge, grab your pull-up bar, so you can pull yourself up on a pull-up bar. Open the palms, elbows slightly in front of the shoulders, and we're going to imagine like you're passing a beach ball to your imaginary neighbor behind you for a back bend. Use your left leg like a kickstand. And then exhale. Hands to the floor, step the right foot back. Take a flow. Coming back, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it through, warrior 2. Cartwheel the arms up. Double check in with that left knee. Make sure you can see your left big toe. Now flip the left palm to the ceiling with an inhale. Reach forward, up and back. Reverse your warrior. Opening up the left side ribs this time. Take an inhale here. Exhale, left forearm to the left thigh. Sweep that right arm down and up above the right ear. Extended side angle. Really reach through your right fingertips here. Try not to rest too much weight in your left arm. And then you guessed it, we're going to lift that left arm up. Draw the navel in. And then we're going to sit back up into our warrior 2 and straighten the leg. Whew, giving the leg a break. All right, feet a little close together so we can set up for triangle. So I like to bend and re-straighten my legs to remind me to pull up on the kneecaps so you don't hyperextend. And then you're going to reach forward with your left fingertips. So reach, 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 get nice and long, and then you just got to tilt. So your left hand might be resting in a different spot compared to the right side, and that's perfectly okay, perfectly normal. Just try to keep a length in both sides of the body. If you want a variation, you can always reach your top arm over the ear. Nice little side body stretch. So take an inhale here. Exhale, sweep the right hand down. We're going to set up for revolved triangle, so you might need to step the feet slightly close together. Try to level the hips out. Right hand underneath the shoulder on the outside of the left foot with an inhale. Peel the chest open. Left fingertips up. Take a breath, reach here. Exhale, sweep the hand down. Inhale, frame up the foot, look forward. Exhale, bow the forehead to the shin. Bring your weight back into your hands. Inhale, half lift. And then as you exhale, step that right foot up next to the left at the top of the mat, feet together. Inhale into your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then bend the knees, sit your hips behind you, sweep the arms up, Utkatasana. Sitting deep in your hips. Take an inhale, reach through your fingers. Exhale, press the palms at the sternum. Inhale, fill up the chest. Exhale, right arm over your left knee for a twist. Try to keep the knees level with each other. And remember to keep the breath moving. All right, so a little balance challenge. Bring your weight into your left foot. Very carefully pick up that right foot and then step it to the back of the mat, sliding it back. Remember, you can always bring the knee down for a modification if you need it. And then from here, you can open up for a flyaway, maybe take a bind, or if you want to tip into an arm balance. Whatever you savvy, whatever feels challenging today. All right, binds, let it go. Press the palms back at the sternum. Inhale, unravel back into your high lunge. All right, grab that pull-up bar and pull yourself up. Palms open. Elbows in front of the shoulders, straighten the arms. Inhale, pass that beach ball to your imaginary neighbor behind you. Lift through the heart. Exhale, sweep the hands to the floor. Step that left foot back. So hold it in plank for just a moment. We're going to tip into side plank on the right side. So coming over onto the right. If you need to modify, you can always bring the right knee on the floor. Otherwise, keep lifting the hips up nice and high here. So bring the left hand behind the head, and we're going to touch the left elbow to the left knee 5 times. So 1, and straighten the leg, and then 2. A little bit of oblique action. 3, 4, and 5. All right, if your heels are stacked, split the heels for a moment. Now we're going to touch the left knee to, or the left elbow to the right knee. So take an inhale, exhale, opposite knee to elbow. 4 more times, exhale, left elbow, right knee, 3 more. 2, last one. And then we're going to go to the left side. So come back down into high plank, and we're going to tip over to the left. So find your high plank, or side plank. And then remember, you can always bring the bottom knee down if you need to modify. All right, right hand behind the head. Let's touch the right knee to the right elbow. Let's take an inhale, exhale, elbow to knee. 4 more times. Then 3, 2, and 1. All right, if your heels are stacked, split the heels for a second. Right elbow to the left knee. Take an inhale, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, coming back into high plank, wrists underneath the shoulders. Take an inhale into the upper back. Let's lower all the way down onto the floor. Sweet reprieve coming to the floor. All right, arms out in front of you, palms facing each other. We're going to lift the arms and the legs at the same time. So 1, 2, 3, inhale, lift up. Squeeze the glutes here, and then we're just going to swim it out. So just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. All right, inhale, lift the arms, lift the legs, and then let it go. Place the hands underneath the shoulders, and we'll take a quick child's pose here. Rounding the spine. And then we're going to make our way into Camel Ustrasana. So hips stacked over your knees. Take your hands into your imaginary back pockets, or if you have back pockets, you can totally place your hands in there. Shoulders back and down. So you can start by inhaling, lifting the chest up. And then if you're able to, you can trace your gaze across the ceiling. You're like, oh, I can totally see behind me. And then maybe you're able to grab your heels with the thumbs on the outside and the fingertips on the inside. Keep trying to press your hips over the knees. Hands back to your imaginary back pockets to help you lift up on an inhale. And then we're going to sit back down into child's pose one more time. It's good to take the spine in both directions. So from a back bend to a forward fold variation. And breathe into your upper back. All right, plant the palms, tuck the toes under the heels, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. So inhale your right leg up. And as you exhale, we're going to come into lizard. So step the right foot on the outside of the right hand, bring the left knee down. So this is going to be a quick lizard posture, so just get comfortable. If you do want to make it a little bit deeper, you can always roll onto the outer edge of the right foot. Sometimes being still is the hardest part about practice. So if you have any feelings come up, you can just acknowledge them going, oh, I'm feeling this way. And you can get back to that feeling later. You can let it pass. All right, if you're on the pinky side edge of the right foot, place it down. Hands on the floor, lift the left knee up off the floor, and we're going to step up into our yogi plank malasana at the top of the mat. So you can scooch the feet a little closer together here if that's more comfortable for you. Press the knees away with the elbows, and you can draw the palms down to the sternum to open the hips up. It might feel nice to do a couple cat-cows here if you like. And kind of notice what your feet are doing. I know I have a tendency to roll to my inner arches. So just kind of think about what your feet are doing. Maybe press the feet down, lifting up on the arch. All right, so place the hands back down on the floor. So this time, a little fun, tricky thing, we're going to just step the right foot back and come into lizard now on the left. So finding your lizard pose. You can keep the left foot flat on the floor, or you can press it away and roll onto the pinky side edge. Each hip will feel a little bit different, and that's really normal, so just know that you're not perfectly symmetrical. And it might depend on if you have a standing leg, or maybe if one leg's a little bit stronger. Sometimes our legs are uneven and one's longer than the other, so just factor in those things. And know that it's okay. So as you inhale, you might imagine space being created. I feel like I'm saying imagine a lot, but what helps me in practice is kind of visualizations and like your mind's eye. So I like to picture things. I kind of feel like that helps with like embody my practice in my physical body. All right, so if you're rolled on the outer edge of the foot, place the foot back down, hands on the floor, lift the right knee up, and we're going to step back up into our yogi squat. And if this is uncomfortable for your ankles, you can come up onto your tippy toes. You can always walk the feet pretty far apart or even closer together. You can press the elbows into the knees to open the hips up. This pose is really, really good for when you drop your keys on the floor and you need to grab and pick it up. So you get to bend at the knees and the hips and not through the low back. You can slow down the breath here. All right, hands to the floor. Lift the hips up, and we're going to do a quick Bakasana, crow pose. Kind of one of those sneaky core postures. So have your hands about shoulder width distance. I like to have my feet together and then bending my knees and kind of splaying them out to make a diamond shape. And you want to put your knees as high as possible onto the triceps, maybe all the way into your armpits. So you might play with just a weight shift, going, oh, this is what it feels like to come forward. You can feel the weight shifting into the hands. And if you're here, you might pick up one foot at a time. And then really drawing the abdominal wall in, you might be able to lift both feet up. Holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can step the feet down or shoot the feet back. And let's take a flow. All right, inhale, look up in between the hands, and however you want to come to sitting on the floor, take yourself there. We're going to come to sit in our butt on the floor. All right, so find your sit bones. Have a bend to the knees, and you can grab for the backs of the legs and just slightly lean back. You can really feel the core activate here with the abdominals drawing in and without rounding the spine, so your erector muscles are working here too. And then you're going to interlace your fingers in front of you, make a little yogi gun. Lift the hands up and over the head. And then with an exhale, we'll twist over to the left. So this one's about range of motion, not speed. So inhale, back up to center, lifting the arms up. Exhale over to the right side. Try to twist as far as you can. Inhale up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale up. And exhale to the left. One more time. Inhale up. And exhale to the right. So you can release the hands, come back forward. Find your sit bones again. We're going to come into a quick Navasana, a boat pose. So I won't torture you guys with boat for very long. If you do want to make it more challenging, you can straighten the legs. Even more challenging still would be to smile and pretend like you enjoy ab work. And we're going to slowly lower into our canoe, our low boat. Try to press the low back into the floor and let it go for just a moment. Because we're not done, I promise. All right, so we're going to do a variation of bicycle. It's going to be a very slow bicycle. So with bicycle, you want to try to keep the low back on the floor. So if your feet have to be lifted up pretty high for that, maybe that's it. If you're able to lower the feet down closer to the floor, you can. I like to keep my feet up pretty high here. Because sometimes it's just the easier thing to do when you're tired. But if you're able to, lower the feet down. So hands behind the head. Don't crank on the neck here. You're just kind of gently holding the head up. Take an inhale. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, left knee. Back to center. Hold it. Left elbow, right knee. Back to center. So nice and slow, knee to elbow. Knee to elbow. Inhale. Exhale. Twist, knee to elbow. Inhale. Exhale the other side. A couple more times. Inhale. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale here. Exhale, knee to elbow. Hold it. And exhale, you can release, bend the knees, plant the feet on the floor. So one of the last things we're going to do now is a variation of dead bug. So you might know dead bug from doing stuff like this, but it's a really good one to kind of like easily get into the transverse abdominals and into that those sneaky, lazy abdominals that are underneath the belly button. So our variation is both feet are going to be up. If you want to make this a little easier, you can always just bend the knees a lot as we touch the toes to the floor. So knees up, toes up, arms above the head, or actually arms forward like you're trying to touch the feet. So take an inhale here. Exhale, arms above head, toes touch the floor. That's one. Inhale, look forward. If you want to make it a little harder, you can lift the head up like you're taking a crunch. Exhale, toes the floor, laying down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, toes the floor. Really try to press the low back into the floor. Inhale up. Exhale, arms above head, toes touch the floor. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, toes down, arms up. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And then hug the knees into the chest. You can roll around on the lumbar spine. You can egg beater the knees. And we're going to stretch out the abs in a couple bridge postures. So plant the feet. Make sure your feet are pretty close to the hips and your feet are separated hips width distance. Arms to the floor. We'll do a couple variations of bridge first. So bend at the elbows, kind of like you're holding a box in your lap so you can really press into the backs of the triceps. Press the feet down with an inhale, lift the hips up. See if you can bring the hips as high as the hands here. Kind of feel some length being created across the belly. Take a breath, and as you exhale, you can roll the spine back down and release the arms. All right, one more bridge, so you can reset up the hands here, reset up the feet, and with an inhale, press the feet down, lift those hips up. So you can keep the arms where they're at here, or if you'd like, you can interlace them underneath you and walk those shoulder blades in close to each other. Just be careful with the head and the neck as the chest comes towards the chin and you lift the hips up just a little bit higher. If you need something else, you can come up onto the tippy toes. Gives you a little bit more space for the low back. Take a breath. Exhale, roll it back down. So one more back bend. I'm going to do Urdhva Dhanurasana. If you don't feel like doing that deep of a back bend, please feel free to do another bridge pose. So fingertips facing your hips as you plant the palms down, feet next to your hips. With an inhale, whoop, we're gonna lift up. If you are in Urdhva Dhanurasana and you need more space, you can come back up onto the tippy toes. If you need to do that. Just take a breath here. And wherever you're at, exhale, slowly lower back down. And then we're going to end with a supine twist. So cross your left knee over the right knee. Bring your arms out next to you, either reaching straight out like a T or bending at the elbows. And then we're just going to let the knees flop to the right. Try to stay heavy in your left shoulder. If you do want a little bit deeper of a twist, you can just scooch your hips a bit more underneath you. So you can either look past the left shoulder, or if that bothers the neck, looking up at the ceiling. And unlike some of the other twists we took, you can let your belly relax here. And every exhale that you take, the navel will just fall a little closer to the spine. You get to be a little bit deeper in your twist. Slowing the breath down. Inhale, lift the knees back up, uncross the left knee. Now this time, right knee over the left. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, the knees are going to fall to the left and maybe look over your right shoulder. Stay heavy in the right shoulder as you twist. Slowly start to bring yourself back to center. And then we're just going to lengthen the legs on the mat. With an inhale, reach your fingertips above you, really stretch here. Lengthening through the belly, pointing the toes away from you. And then we're going to come into a Shavasana variation. If you want to Bakasana the feet, you can, as a nice gentle hip opener laying in your Shavasana. And then you can start the very difficult process of letting go. So if you didn't like the practice, just let it go, man. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And something that's very difficult to do is sort of surrender to the practice. Giving yourself the grace to do so. So as you lay in your Shavasana with the palms facing the ceiling, you can feel the shoulders melt away from each other. You can allow the jaw and the teeth to separate. So the jaw is heavy, and you can take the tongue off the top palate and let it be heavy in the back of the mouth. You can begin to soften the space in between the eyebrows. And give yourself gratitude for showing up on the mat today and doing your best. That's the most important step, is just showing up. So thank you, everyone, for joining me today. Feel free to come back to this practice or add it on to any other of the videos that we have up on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Thank you.